All right, very good afternoon to everyone. The Rotary dignitaries and Rotaract dignitaries, as well as the RI staff who are here with us. For the next 50 minutes, I'm going to speak on two topics. The first topic is about the Rotary messaging in compliance with the voice and visual identity. This is the message that was actually given to me in terms of topic. And I'm going to share with you the intricacies involved in coming out with the logo specifically for Rotaract. Now, let me start by saying that according to Elon Musk, he is the CEO of Tesla Motors, the leader in electric vehicles. He says that brand is just a perception, and perception will match reality over time. So many people today are familiar with the Rotary logo, the wheel, but they do not exactly have a clear idea of what exactly the good that we do. But they know that it's an organization where it comprises of people doing good for the community. Now, with that kind of perception, eventually that perception will match reality over time if these people get to be connected with you as Rotaractors or the Rotarian or the organizations. Let me give you an example. You have been invited to an event at perhaps a hotel and you saw this logo, and then you decided to get to the location of the ballroom by taking this lift, and you saw this particular logo. And when you arrive, you saw the backdrop of the event with this logo. They all belong to the same club, the Rotaract Club of Leavitt. And at the end of the event, apparently it was something to do with launching of the Gift of Sight project that the Rotaractors in this particular club were doing. And they actually used this particular logo. Now, if that was you, I'm sure you will be wondering what happened, because in the course of the time when you arrive at the destination and until the time when you reach the ballroom, you saw 4 different logos, but they all belong to the same club. And if I were to be one of the audiences, I will be wondering why there are so many logos belonging to the same club and which one should I use to remember. So one thing that I would like to convey over here is that is just to exaggerate on the inconsistency that we sometimes do without realizing it, unintentionally, and we confuse the audiences whom we are communicating with. Always bear that in mind. Whatever you put up, the logo is actually meant for people to see. And these logos, if the audiences are members of the public who are not connected with Rotary or Rotaracts, then the confusion is actually going to be very, very great. Now, I have extracted a section of the voice and visual identity guideline in how the way the Rotaract Club logo should actually be constructed. If you notice at the top, let me just change this highlight to a better highlight. There are 3 different alignment. Club logo below, club logo above and below, club logo above. And under each of these alignment, there are 2 different ways of constructing the rotary wheel. You will notice that on the upper level over here, the rotary wheel has the words Rotary International. But the one at the bottom here do not have that words. What is the difference? Now, the difference is that the top one is the normal logo. The lower one is called the simplified version. Why do we need to have the simplified version? Is because if we need to use this logo in a confined space that is smaller than 1.25 mm or 0.5 inch, smaller than 0.5 inch, therefore, the chances is that the word Rotary International cannot be seen or very difficult to read because the logo is so small. So we might as well do away with the word Rotary International inside the wheel. All right. But this is the way Rotaract Club actually construct their club logo. And I've given here an example at the bottom, Rotaract Club of University of Chicago. And the other one, we put it as Westminster Rotaract, which is actually using the club logo above the club logo above on the right-hand side format. All right. So you must bear in mind that these are the three possible alignment that you can actually have your club logo. And I will show it to you later on. Where do you construct this club logo? Well, you can actually go to the brand center of the RI website, log in using your user ID and password, get into this the brand center and click on logos. And this is where you actually get to be able to see the various options offered to you on your screen. And I would like you to try and click on this, which is called logo templates. And once you click this logo templates, it gives you two options. One is the logo lockup template, and the other one is the club logo template. Let's explore the club logo template because this is the template to generate your club, district, or zone logo. All right. Once you click that, it will bring you to this particular screen that says create. And I know you will see the word Rotary, but hold on. Let me just bring you to the next screen. The next screen on the right-hand side over here has got several options. And what you need to do is you need to look at this particular section called the club, right? And when you click the arrow down button, it gives you three choices. You can either generate a Rotary logo. By default, it goes into Rotary logo, or Rotaract, or Interact. And obviously you want to choose Rotaract logo. And so what you do, once you change to Rotaract logo, the image on the left changes to a Rotaract logo. All right. And what do you need to do next? Well, you need to insert the name of your club. And this is where you need to type. As you type, the name will appear over here, or rather the text will appear at the bottom of the word Rotaract. And you have three alignments. Either the below logo, as I've mentioned earlier on in the example, in the three example just now, the above logo, above and below. And in this situation, I have actually clicked the above and below. All right. And these are basically the three different alignment. You got the Rotaract Club of Unimas or Club of Manila College Rotaract. This is just a fictitious name that I created. And this is Singapore is Rotaract Club. This is above and below. This is above logo, and this is the below logo. And in this particular slide, I have also given you an example on the three different colors that you can choose. This reddish or pinkish color with the white color, all white, and this is the all black color. Now you must remember again that for each of these alignment, you have the option of either creating the logo under normal wheel or simplified version. And I will show it to you where you can do that. All right. But before I start, who can tell me which is the correct logo between the one on the left and the one on the right? Feel free to type in your answer in the Zoom chat box. You can either type L for being correct on the left-hand side or R for being correct on the right-hand side. Go ahead. I'll just wait for a few seconds. So far, I've seen everybody like putting up on the right-hand side is the correct answer. Thank you very much. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Very good, very good. Okay, well, I do not know why you have invited me to come. Everybody has got the right answer. And true enough, the one on the right are the right version of the brand compliant logos. Because here you have the district logo, the district identifier with the club, and it says Rotary Club Partner. Now that is not actually allowed. And this LOCKUP logo, which I will explain to you later on, and with the name of the club on the right, there is no such format to be used. All right. Now, how about this? Which is the correct club logo? On the left or on the right? Go ahead and type your answer again. Great. Thank you for your responses. Wow. Everybody's spot on. Next time I will put the correct one on the left. All right. Spot on, as I said, the one on the right is the correct answer, right? The correct format. This is not the correct format because if you, I'm not too sure whether you can see it, but if you were to zoom into this particular logo on the right, it is actually the name of this particular Rotary Club. It's just that it has got its own peculiar logo, right? But the name of the club is actually below here. It's pretty small, all right? Now, how about this? The three different logo alignment. Is it correct or not? Just tell me whether it's T or F, true or false. T or F. 3 for true, F for false. Great. Wow. Excellent. Excellent answers. Okay, fantastic. Right? Correct. The three different alignment of logos are actually correct. Yeah, they are correct. All of them are in compliant because this is using the one above and below. This is using the below format, and this is also using the above and below format. All right. Now, I will bring you to the club logo template. Right? The club logo template. This is a bit tricky, and again, this can be used to generate club, district, or zone logo in a format that is meant for either a strategic project or service partners. Now, these are the three different areas or three different possibilities. You can see that this Mercy Ship is a third-party organization having collaboration with Rotary, and so is UNICEF and CDC having collaboration as service partners that is indicated with a lockup. Okay, this line, the perpendicular line, is called the lockup, and I will talk to you a little bit on the intricacies later on. All right, so the top part is actually example with the Rotarian action groups. So you can have the disaster network of assistant Rotary action group, and this is from the Rotary fellowships. And then I can also mention over here that the logo lockup will actually help you to create that perpendicular line with that logo. And you click here, right? Again, once you create the click button, it will come up with this template on the left-hand side with, similar to that logo template that I've showed earlier, a number of areas that you can do your setting. So as a first step, again, under the club, you can have Rotary, Rotaract, and Interact. Let's click to Rotaract. And once you change to Rotaract, the one on the left changes to this default colored Rotaract lockup logo. Okay. Now, lower down, you will be able to see that for the text on the right-hand side, you can actually adjust the font size. By default, it goes to font size 36, but you can actually go up to font size 72. And you can either have it regular or bold. I normally use bold so that it's easier. That is if it is text. Okay, but you can actually insert a partner's logo as well over here, right? And obviously, if you insert a partner's logo, you will not be able to set whether it's regular or bold or even the font size, all right? Now, here, the text above or the text below are actually meant for this on the left-hand side, above the word Rotaract and below the word Rotaract. That's what it means, okay? So you got to type the appropriate text in this box over here. So you can put the club name on top, or you can put the club name below, or the district. If it is district, it's only district and zone is only below, not at the top. All right. So I've given you an example, Rotary Club of Manila College, and on the right-hand side, it has actually incorporated the name of the project, which is called the Gift of Sites. And this was actually a font size of 48 in bold. And you notice that I have the text that I've typed in is actually text below Club of Manila College, and it appears over here below. All right. And lockup text is actually Gift of Sites, and that's where it comes out. All right. So in summary, the lockup text that you type on the right will come up over here, and the font size will determine the font size of the text on the lockup text, and whether it's bold or regular will also determine how the text actually appear on the lockup. And the text below here is for this part below the word Rotaract. And if you want to have the text above, then that is where it's going to appear, right? But one thing you will notice that you cannot have a text above and below. A Rotaract or Rotary logo or Interact logo can only have a club logo without a district identifier and without a zone identifier. So you cannot mix a club logo incorporating the district number or the zone number. All right. So this is, in summary, I have actually used the simplified version of the Rotaract logo. Now, sometimes what you want to generate in a lockup template is not available. So the template does not provide it, but you want to be able to generate, say for instance, you want to be able to insert a logo of a third-party partners organizations that your Rotaract Club is associated with or having collaboration. So as a result, you need to construct it manually. So, and if it is your club that is having that collaboration, I suggest that you go into this logo lockup template, construct the Rotaract Club logo, and it will come up with the word Rotaract and the wheel and your club name with the perpendicular line. And once it has generated that, what you need to do is manually using a graphic software, take that logo and insert the third party's organization logo. Now, a bit of intricacies over here that you need to observe. When you place the logo of the third party organization, it cannot be bigger than 1.5 times of the wheel. All right? It cannot be bigger than 1.5 times of the wheel. That's what it says over here. I normally make it the same size, the same height as the wheel, the height of the wheel. All right? And therefore, if the height of the third party's organization logo is the same as the wheel, then this line, the height of this line should equal to the height of the wheel as well. But if the logo of the third party organization is 1.5 times bigger than the wheel, then this line will have to follow the height of this third party organization, which is 1.5 times maximum. Now, the other thing that you need to observe is that the gap between this line and the wheel, and between this line and the third party organization logo or text must be equal to the alphabet O in the word Rotary, right? This is something that a lot of even Rotarians may not have noticed it. Okay, so this is something that you need to observe. All right, so that is one way to constructing it manually. Now, I would like to ask you, which is the correct logo in this lockup format? Left or right? Go ahead and type your answer in the chat box. Go ahead, yeah. Yes, correct. Okay, fantastic. So it is, you are correct. The correct version is actually the one on the left-hand side. Why is that so? Well, I give you an example. What was wrong with the logo on the right was because you look at the gap over here, right? This gap, right, should be actually the width of the alphabet O. But clearly, this gap is wider than the alphabet O, the width of the alphabet O, right? And number two, even though that this gap on the right hand side between the line and the word disaster relief is the same as the alphabet O, but the fonts that it uses is actually not the same as what has been recommended on page 30 of the Voice and Visual Identity Guideline. All right, so you must remember to use the correct fonts. There was a question about whether or not you can actually insert the team logo. Yes, you can use the team logo, but take note, the team logo, I don't have it here with me, but the team logo is actually the picture of a hand, and the word serve to change life is on the right hand side of the logo. But if you were to download the team logo separately, the word serve to change life actually is not on the right hand side of the logo of the hands, the picture of the hand. They actually appear below. Now, RI says that you cannot change this team logo. Therefore, you must make sure that you use the version of the team logo serve to change life with the word serve to change lives on the right hand side of the hands, the hand logo, the hand picture. And what happened on the right, on the left? Sometimes I see a lot of Rotary clubs just use the word Rotary with a wheel and the team logo on the right with this lockup. You are advised not to do that unless the activity or the event is organized by Rotary International. So what must you do? You must change the logo on the left, the Rotary logo master brand signature, they call it, to incorporate your club name or your district or your zone. And with the lockup, and on the right hand side of the lockup is the team logo. All right. So many are not aware about this. So the Rotary logo itself, without the club name and the district or the zone logo, signifies that it is only meant to be used by RI in an RI organized event or activities. All right. Now these are the fonts that we talk about: Frutiger and Sentinel. Right, these you need to buy, the Frutiger Limited Standard, you need to buy Sentinel, but then there are free options that come with your Microsoft Word or even with your PowerPoint. Arial Narrow, Georgia, Arial Regular, Open Sans, and Open Sans Condense. Right, we can use this. So take note, when you are typing text in a lockup logo template, the fonts that you use must be one of these. Right, that is actually on page 30 of the Voice and Visual Identity Guideline 2019-2020 that you can download from the Brand Center. Okay, now I give you an example over here. So this club on the left, we already discussed about that, and this club with a logo called the Prevention of Blindness. Okay, so obviously I think you know we have gone through this, that this is not the right logo, but the one on the right is the correct format. Why? Because if you notice the gap, that is actually, this whole thing was created using the logo lockup template in the Brand Center, right? And I downloaded that logo that includes the perpendicular line, right? And I inserted this logo manually. Okay, and if you notice, between the edge of the word prevention on the left hand side and the perpendicular line is not wider than or not less than the alphabet O in the word Rotaract. Okay. Okay, now this is another area. Logo lockup is only used for strategic project or service partners name or logo. So the logo on the right is the name of the same Rotaract club, right? I'm talking about this one, sorry. This is not correct because the logo on the right is the name of the same Rotaract club. So it is not a third party or service partner's name logo. It is not the name of a project, neither is it strategic. So this is clearly wrong. Okay. So that's the end of my talk on the Rotary messaging in compliance with voice and visual identity. And it is very, very important that everybody understand this so that when you organize an event, right? When you organize an event, everybody is united in conveying one united voice that does not confuse the audiences. Another area that I would like to emphasize is that when you construct a club or district or zone logo, always understand who will be your audiences. Is it members of the public, or is it Rotarians or Rotaractors? If it is members of the public, avoid the use of the district identifier or the zone identifier, because these are numbers that the audiences cannot relate. They don't understand. They don't understand what is District 3860, right? So when you are having an event that you construct club logo with, it is important you need to understand who your audiences are. So the question here is, when we are doing international collaboration, is it possible to use club name and district number? Yes, provided the audiences are Rotaractors or Rotarians. And how do we do this? So if it is district, bearing in mind that you cannot mix club name and district name together, right? But if it is, let's take an example of a district. If it is just a district number, you can have Rotaract and then districts with the word S, 3870 and 3310. So you can have that under the word Rotaract, right? Now what happens if it involves more than one club names? Now, my suggestion is avoid the use of having all the club logos using the master brand signature. That means you have the Rotaract with a wheel and then the name of the club at the bottom of the word Rotaract. And if you have 10 Rotaract clubs in this event, hosting the event, then you have 10 of these logos, and it looks going to be very crowded when you place them on any space or promotion materials. So what you can do, you can just set that this event is hosted by, and you write the name of the clubs without the logo. All right, and you can have just the Rotaract district logo on top of the list of names of Rotaract clubs. We can actually deal with that later on in the Q&A. We have 20 minutes on Q&A. All right, so remember, we must be consistent in the logos that we use, because otherwise audiences are going to be confused, right? And if, just as an example, if you're buying Coca-Cola, you know Coca-Cola has got this red can with the white lettering Coca-Cola in a very specific fonts that they use. And imagine from red, the color is changed to some other things and the word is no longer white. Maybe the word is in green. Now you may be wondering whether this is the original Coca-Cola. So you are casting doubts on the audiences, on your product and on your organizations, right? Now, next, what I would like to do is to spend the next couple of minutes on tips and best practices in online and social media Rotary communications. So having already gone through how to construct the correct brand compliant logo, you then use this logo to put it online and in all your social media Rotary and Rotaract communications. So the question is, which social media platform should we use? There are so many of them right now. So it is worth for us to go and search, and as well as to determine where and how to position each of your club in the social media platform. Let's have a look in Philippines alone. Based on the statistics, the first and the most used social media platform is actually YouTube, followed by Facebook, very, very close. And then Facebook Messenger, and then Instagram. So Facebook is number 2 and Instagram is number 4. That is in Philippines. All right. Now, and if you look at this statistic, it says that 80.7% of the population in Philippines are social media users. That's amazing. And of this number of social media users, 98.7%, nearly 99% are accessing their social media accounts via their mobile devices. So that is something that you need to learn, okay? They use mobile devices. Now, the fact that it is mobile, they are small, so no point to use your normal logo. You need to use simplified logo of the Rotary wheel, all right? And as far as engagement is concerned, one particular area that I would like to draw on your attention is here. On average, one internet user in Philippines has got about nearly 10 social media accounts. So they could have an account in Instagram, in TikTok, in LinkedIn, in Facebook, in YouTube, you name it. So on average, one internet user has 10 accounts. That is in Philippines, all right? And surprisingly, nearly 60% of these users actually use the social media for work-related purposes as well. That means they do advertisement, right? They do engagement through their customers with the social media platform. Now, so the daily spend, wow, per user on average in Philippines, they spend about 4 hours and 15 minutes serving this social media. And that, as I mentioned to you, 10 social media accounts per internet user, all right? And 57.6% using social media for work. This particular chart says that 83 million people can be reached using advertisement on Facebook. So if I were to pay Facebook for advertisement, the chances is that my advertisement can reach about 83 million people, all right? And of these 83 million people, it's almost equal percentage between male and female. Slightly higher in female, 53%, 47% are male. And 74, or rather nearly 75% of the Facebook users are accessing it through their mobile phones, but nearly 99% accessing their social media from their Facebook from any mobile devices. Something that is very interesting is that the major age group of this social media is actually from 18 years old to 34 years old, right? Where in the early teen, the 18 years old to 24 years old, you have more female than male. But in the 25 to 34 years age group, you have almost equal percentage for both male and female. All right. So major age group reached by the advertisement on social media. And this is a summary, right? I have done a summary on Facebook. So it's a major age group between 18 to 24 on Facebook. This is the major age group. Right? It doesn't mean that there are no other age people with over, say, 25 years old accessing Facebook. They are, but this is 86% of them actually belongs to this category of age group. And it's a mixed gender. But if you want to recruit somebody female, then maybe Instagram and TikTok is the area that you need to have a presence. And if you want to build up your professional memberships with a lot of members in the professional industry, then maybe LinkedIn, all right? But bear in mind that this data keep on changing, and they are very dynamic. So, but for this presentation, I'm going to share with you, I will focus on Facebook. Now, let me just summarize this to say that, when we talk about media, we have offline, we have online, and we have social media. So we need to differentiate them. Offline are things like newspaper, printed magazine, press conference, in-person event, networking activities, all are in person. Today with COVID-19 pandemic, everything, or rather majority of our activities are focusing on the virtual space. So we go to online newspaper, online magazine, the press, conference, online FM station, online news, TV, and more. And social media, you have all this, right? So you need to understand who are your target audience. You need to understand the profile of your club, the peculiarity of your club. And if you want to increase more members, you need to understand where your club stand and what kind of people are more suited to join your club, so that you can understand the profile of the potential members, and then you decide which social media platform you need to have a presence. But always bear in mind, anything to do with virtual space, whether it's online media, online social media, there are only three things: text, image, and video. These are the three things. Therefore, your text must be critical, because if you were to draw the attention of members of the public, you got to be very catchy because you're fighting with so many accounts in the social media for attention. So therefore your images, your video, your text, all must be excellent and must be different from the rest. All right. Share your stories. This is one way to differentiate your text with other social media accounts. Your story in every posting is very important. Okay. It must be inspiring. It must be unique. It must be catchy and must be exciting to listen to, so that people will be drawn to keep on coming back to access your social media. Now, as far as telling stories is concerned, the 5 things that you must remember, right? And this is emphasized by Rotary. Storytelling is very, very important because all of us do so much good deeds in the world. And in each of these work that we do, there are stories, wonderful, inspiring stories that can move the heart and soul of individuals who read your story. So your story must be very clear of what are you trying to accomplish. What was the problem faced by the community? And how did you get to know about this issue? Somebody must have highlighted you about this. And therefore, who is the audience beyond Rotary members that you want this story to be read, right? What do they know about you, and what do they think and feel about you? What do you want them to think about you? Now, this all depends on the kind of story that you convey to the audiences. Now, what action did you take in that particular project? Did you actually solve the problem by raising some money, and then you actually get together all the members from the various professions to contribute their skills, their vocational skills, and getting involved the community members in laying this stretch of pipes to have gravity water supply system fed into each of their houses? And you actually train them how to maintain these pipes, and you give them training so that these pipes of gravity water supply could be used in the long run. And that is why we call it sustainable project. And what was the impact? Maybe with the ability to be able to have this continuous stream of gravity water supply, and with good filtration system, you increases the health of the family members of everyone in the community, so that they are much more healthier, and the breadwinners can continue to go out there and earn a living without having interrupted days of being sick like in the past. All right. So last but not least, your story must have an ending of call to action. What do you want the audiences to do after reading this story? Come and connect with us. If you have the skills in perhaps engineering or architecture, and you want to join us to do good in the world, contact us at so and so email address. That is what we call to action. All right. Now, image really matters. With that inspiring stories, you do not need to type very long, because nowadays people do not actually want to read too long text on the social media. You need to make it very concise and just nice, maybe a few lines. Now, you need to have images that comes with the text to catch the attention of the social media users. So you must show that Rotaractors are at work, standing up to hand over a piece of item or equipment to the beneficiaries and taking a photo of that. It does not reflect that we are people of action. So you must show clear visual narrative that represents the headline. So if we say that we inspire, right, the image must actually be consistent with that narrative that says we inspire, and that the subject faces and actions in that photograph show happy, positive, and engaging moments, and always work in good natural lighting, and show Rotaractors interacting with the beneficiaries. Don't look at the camera, make it as candid as possible, and as well as show that, you know, Rotaractors have diversity. You have people from different areas, different religion, which may be a bit difficult to show, right? so that when people see these images, they know that you are very inclusive. Your diversity gives a lot of innovation into the activities that you do. And make sure that the image can connect with the community. Don't forget, if you do take pictures comprising of the beneficiaries, you need to get permission, signed permission in writing that they allow for you to use these images for Rotary purposes, right? You do not want them to actually see this particular picture of theirs on your social media, and then they take action, legal action on you for publishing images of them without their consent, especially when it involves children. Get their parents to be involved to give the consent. Now, if possible, end your story with a quote. A wonderful quote. There are so many quotes that you can actually extract from the internet. One example, I give not because I have many, but it is because I know how it is like to have nothing, right? It is not how much we give, but how much love we put into giving. And think of giving not as a duty, but as a privilege, right? So try to include this to make your story captivating. Now, this particular picture on the right is actually from a Rotary Club of Phnom Penh capital in Cambodia, where they raise money to provide clean water supply to a nearby community. And with that clean water supply, the community have improved their health and made it possible for the breadwinners to work without unnecessary interruption, which was previously caused by frequent health-related issues. The community can now focus on building their economic development for a better future. Rotarians give not because we have many, but because we know what it is like without nothing. Join us to make our community thrive, and by putting in that Facebook social media address of yours. Now, video also very important. So when you do video, today, I think the attention span is more focused on video than still images. When you produce video, produce not more than 1 minute, right? Preference will be for video of live video of Rotarians in action instead of video montage. Now, video montage is actually images of slides that actually animated video slides and converted into video. I would prefer that you do the actual live video of Rotarians. Of course, you need to do a lot of editing, right? And if possible, if you are residing in a multilingual community, do consider incorporating subtitles in other languages, right? And where possible, do some voice-over narrations in the primary language of the community that you reside, instead of just playing music at the background. Use suitable tag on your video to increase visibility, because when you upload this video to YouTube, you need to do that and have that thumbnail incorporated in the YouTube at that 1280 times 720 pixels, and that ratio, as well as the minimum resolution. Now, this minimum resolution of 720 pixels is to allow anyone with poor internet connection to still be able to play your video. If you upload that in full HD resolution, it will actually be very slow, and not many people will be able to download them unless they are residing in an area with very good internet connection. So in summary, social media is a visual medium, text, pictures, and video, right? Include visual with every post. Include either include either pictures or videos with your text. And your text, preferably story, captivating story, and action photos of service projects and events, and tag the participating members and community partners. If you have volunteers from, say, engineering association, please tag that particular association social media account and share relevant content posted by members and partners as well. Include hashtag at the end of your posting, but make sure you check the hashtag. Where does it link to? Now, you do not need to put in too many hashtags, right? But it is important that you include a hashtag, and everybody in that district can perhaps use the same hashtag for a specific project. Remember, it is not the number of posts that matters, it is the quality of each post that matters. Determine the best time and day for posting. Different country, different region has different day and posting flavor to suit the social media users. And last but not least, you must update your social media contents regularly so that it will attract the number of followers and the number of likes. And then the good thing is that you would like them to share what you have posted into other media accounts. This is very important. If they can do that, if most of your visitors to your social media account share what you have posted in their own profile, in their own timeline, that will be fantastic because it will help to exponentially grow or promote your presence in that social media in Facebook. All right. So make use of the brand center to produce images like this. This is people of action images, which is also available in the brand center, which I do not have time to actually give you some explanation in this particular moment. I hope perhaps to do that in the near future. That's it, and thank you very much for your attention. And I think there are some posted messages on the chat, but I will leave it to the moderator. That is the end of my session right now. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, PDG Andre, for giving us a refresher on the Rotary voice and visual identity, guidelines, and how we could further enhance Rotary and Rotaract public image. I think that was a very fruitful and informative session because I think I myself I learned a lot of tips on how do we get best practice for public image related content. So
Right.
yes, now, let's take some time for Q&A now. If the participants have any questions, kindly drop them in our Zoom chat box, or you may use the raise hand function of the Zoom if you want to verbally address your questions or share your thoughts. Please wait for us to acknowledge you before you unmute and speak. And previously, we actually spot on a few questions. One question is by past chair Oliver is that what are those allowed for the lockups, and can you put the JCI/JC's logo as a lockup perhaps? And since they are our partners, because he's not very sure on this, so
This is what for JCI, is it?
yes, JCI,
Okay.
JCI as a lockup.
Okay. And is this collaboration confined to the club or to the district?
PDG, because we see a lot. I'm Oliver from the Philippines. I posted that question because I was really very interested with that topic with regards to the lockup. Because currently, right now in the Philippines, there are some districts and some clubs who create vanity logos. The vanity logos, I call it vanity because what they do is they make their district numbers, they create an image of their district numbers, and they make it very colorful. And then they lock it up with the Rotaract District logo. Like, for example, Rotaract District 3810, for example. So they have that vanity logo plus the regular template logo. So that's my first question. If that is allowed, well, definitely for now, we saw in your presentation, it's not allowed. But this time, we see a lot of clubs or having joint projects with other service organizations. Most notably are the JCs. We see a lot of JCI and Rotary Club collaborations in the Philippines. I know there are some restrictions with regards to those collaborations based on our manual procedures, but I'm just curious if you can put that as a lockup, especially with the JCI logo, because there might be some clubs who might do it. So it's limited to club activities currently.
Okay. Thank you so much, Oliver, for asking that question. First of all, when you have a collaboration, when I say you, I'm talking about a club. If a club has a collaboration with JCI, what we need to be very clear is it JCI internationally or is it a specific club name of JCI? And if it is a specific club name of JCI or region, make sure that the region identifier or the club identifier of JCI is also included. You can put it into the lockup with the Rotaract Club logo on the left and the perpendicular line followed by the JCI logo of that specific club. Yes, you can do that if you want to. Now, another thing that I have not mentioned is that you are only allowed to have up to one partner's logo. So if you are having a collaboration with more than one organization, and therefore I assume each organization has got one logo, so you ended up with two partners' logo, you cannot put them side by side in a lockup format. So what do you do if that is the case? My suggestion is that maybe you can put in the name of the project in the lockup with your club name, and then you put the other two partners' logo somewhere else. So if it is in a banner, you can have the name of your club in the lockup with the name of the project at the center and the partner's logo on the left and another partner's logo on the top right. One top left and one top right. Okay? And assuming that the project is hosted by your club. So you put your club name in a lockup with the name of the project at the center of that banner. You got that? So the top left and the top right are actually the logo of the two partners, one on each corner, on the top corner, and the lockup logo of your club with the name of the project located at the center of that banner. So that is my suggestion, right? So if you have more than two partners that you are collaborating with, you cannot use the logo of that third-party organization logos in the lockup format. I hope that is clear.
Very clear, PDG. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. All right. Any other question? If not, maybe
I'll take the next questions because
Okay.
this one I personally want to ask you this. How do we actually avoid our videos being removed or flagged by Facebook stating that our contents are the infringement of the copyrights, for example, music copyright?
Yes. Okay, that's a good question. When you have music incorporated into your video, make sure that the music is not covered under the copyright law. And there are sites that provide royalty-free music. And make sure you go to that site. I can't remember the name of the site, but there are quite a few. You go to that site and you download that music and you attach it with your video. All right? Because otherwise, Facebook will think that you are infringing on the Copyright Act and they will forbid you and not allow you to upload your video. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Because we got that one, so we were like thinking, how do we avoid that in the future?
Yes. So this is very, very important because to protect the intellectual property rights of the song owner or composer, right, of the song. The other thing I want to mention is that many Rotarians and Rotaractors who are not familiar with the brand center, they think that they can get their graphic experts to come in and just construct the club logo. You cannot do that because it will not be accurate. Because Rotary has spent a lot of money in coming up with this tool in the brand center. And the text that you enter that represent the name of your club is automatically converted into a picture file, right? Into a picture file. So yes, you start to enter the text, which is actually the name of your club, into the tool, but the outcome is actually an image file. So therefore, the alignment of the word club of, say, I don't know, one of the clubs, right, of the Rotaract Club of Manila College, Rotaract Club of Manila College, the word Club of Manila College on right below the word Rotaract, that alignment, how much it's actually why justified, that means it is justified from the right below the word Y, below the word T, right? Rotaract is T, right? The last word is T. It is actually left, right justified. So therefore, you cannot accurately do it manually if you are using a graphic software. There are two people here, two Rotaractors asking questions. They're raising their hand. Is it? Let me see. I can't read the name because it's blocked by the position. Armeldi.
Yes.
Armeldi.
Yes. Maybe can we have IPDR Arnedi from Indonesia? You can unmute and
Okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you, PDG, for the nice explanation. I want to ask a questions regarding about the logo color.
Yes.
You said that we can use 3 colors, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to ask is, when we having a collaboration with other clubs, let's say like 2 clubs or 3 clubs, so we supposed to use each club logos, right?
Correct.
So is it how can we use the color? Is it okay if we use some using like the full international Rotary International, and the others using a simplified logo, and the others using the black logo? Is it okay using the kind of colors and the kind of signature in the one let's say one what do you call, invitation, or one banner, or whatever it is? Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Armeldi ya, namanya Armeldi ya.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. I'm also from Indonesia, actually, although I live in Malaysia. So thank you. That is a very, very good question. Now, my suggestion is, remember we talked about consistency just now, right? Therefore, if you have 3 or 4 clubs or more than 1 club, and you're creating a promotion flyers or a banner or promotion materials, whatever it is, make sure that the club logos of all the participating clubs are consistently produced in one color, right? And if you are all using simplified logo, make sure they are all using simplified logo. Well, you and me know that they all refer to the same thing, but members of the public don't. So if you are using white color logo, make sure all the other 3 clubs are using the same white color, normal or simplified, so that we do not confuse the public. Now, why RI has produces these 3 colors? It is because to allow us to be able to use this color with different background. Very often I see the full color. This is not so much on the Rotaractors, but for Rotary, yeah? Rotary, you know, you have the azure blue, and then the wheel are in gold, right? Now they use that same color across all kind of backgrounds. Like for instance, you have that background of multicolored flags, and assuming that that multicolored flags is occupying the whole of the virtual background. Now, if you were to use that full color of azure blue and as well as gold, you probably cannot see the color. So most probably it's better to use white, all white. Okay, so this is very important consideration to make, right? Like for instance, if you now have this virtual background mostly in blue, and if I were to use the multicolored Rotary logo, not so much on Rotaract, but Rotary logo, the word Rotary comes in azure blue and the wheel is in gold. And if I were to put it on this blue background, the word Rotary will not stand out. There's no contrast. So what other alternative color? Do I use black? Maybe, but not so good. But white could be better because it gives you a better contrast. All right, so that is something to remember. Okay. There's somebody with.
Thank you, PDG.
Oh, you're most welcome. Thanks.
Yes, hi PDG. Is it okay if I share my screen, because I do want to show the different types of logo. I want to get your opinion.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. Cool. Okay. So these are 3 clubs that's in my district. So just wanted to get your opinion. So for example, like this I would say that the logo, is compliant, just that the color of the background, they actually change it a little bit. So what would you advise over here? That they have to change it to, maybe just a pink logo without the background?
Which one are you talking about? You mean the orange color?
The orange color.
Yeah, what happened?
Just that they decided to innovate a little bit. So I'm not quite sure if this complies with the brand. So in terms of the, the logo and everything, is the same.
Can you expand it?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, that wheel is better be produced in simplified version. All right. Now the background can be any color because Rotary International does not dictate what background color you need to have.
I see. Okay.
And in this situation, it is the color of the logo which is white. Right? Which is okay because it is one of the approved 3 colors.
Okay.
That's fine. That is fine.
Okay.
Okay.
One more. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. You were saying?
Sorry. Okay. Just since can you just expand it? Okay.
Yep.
Now you have this circular background, right? Now, assuming there are cases whereby the Rotaract or the Rotary logo with the name of the club, it's so big that it does not appear, the whole logo does not appear within that circle. So that means the wheel got cut off into half and the word R is being hidden because it's spilled across the circumference of the circular picture, right? Now that is not allowed. You must show all the logo in totality.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
2 more. Just like samples.
Sorry, Gov. With regards to that logo, sorry if I'm hijacking. Is it better to have a simplified logo or the master brand logo?
Simplified logo. I've mentioned it just now. It is better to have simplified logo.
Yeah, so that's a simplified. It should be simplified. So if the yes, go.
Remember, anything smaller than 0.5 inch should be simplified.
Noted. All right. Okay. What about in this case though, like their background, they actually, added some degree of design to it. It's okay. It's okay as well.
It's okay. Yeah.
All right. All right. That's mainly my question because I have another one with some level of background design.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll take note that all 3 should use the simplified version.
Okay. Now this particular background that you have, right? See the white line there?
Yeah.
Now imagine if this white line going across the rotary wheel. Then that is not allowed.
Understand.
Yeah. Or cutting across the word Rotaract. So make sure that it is clear like what it is. Now,
all right.
And another area that I would like to mention, which I have not presented, is if you want to add anything on top of this logo, there must be a clear space between the logo. When I say the logo, that means the wheel, the word Rotaract, the word Club of AIMST University, right? That is, the whole thing is a logo. Huh? Yep. You must have a clear space equal to the height of the capital R in the word Rotaract, which means that line on top of the word R cannot be used. It must be higher up. The space between the capital R and the line, the white line, must be equal to the height of the capital R.
I see.
Now over here, it is clearly too near the capital R.
I see.
And the same thing, if you look at the bottom, the word university, under the alphabet Y, the line is too near to that alphabet Y.
I see.
So there must be a space equal to the height of the capital R.
Okay, got it. All right, thank you very much.
All right, you're most welcome.
Okay. Thank you again, PDG Andre, and thank you, leaders, for enriching our session. Allow us, PDG and Andre, to express our sincere gratitude through this certificate of appreciation, presented by the Asia Pacific Rotaract MDIO to PDG Andre Suharo for imparting his knowledge and insights as resource speaker on Rotary communications and public relations tips and best practices during the Asia Pacific Rotaract Leaders Summit given this 24th date